How's everybody doing? This is Eric Sturm. I'm coming at you with a new video on officiating. Actually, something that occurred last night, doing a couple elimination basketball games, quote unquote semifinals. Uh, what occurred, which was kind of interesting, I hadn't been doing this particular age group. I showed up about 30 minutes, 40 minutes early to the games, or to the first game, that is. And double-edged sword here. A lot of the coaches, matter of fact, all four of the coaches, two from each team, very familiar with me from officiating football, baseball, over the years. And so they all know me by even first name. And they are all very pleased to have me here at doing their games. All right, so that's all fine and good. So I don't let stuff like that go to my head. And if you're ever in a situation like that, don't let that go into your head also. So first game, I'm doing a platinum level game, youngsters that is, but they're like the best, highest seeds out of all the teams. And there must have been approximately total in that age group, maybe 36 teams, and they were in the top 8. And double elimination, both teams had already been lost one game. So anyways, we're doing the game, myself and my partner, and the game's in the last 40 seconds of overtime. And at that point in time, I'm down there thinking to myself, I'm on the baseline. And so I'm thinking, I really don't want to have to decide the game. I'd prefer that the kids decide the game on their own. We have a couple passes, at least one pass in the paint, and we are talking youngsters too. And finally, it gets to maybe the better player on the team on offense, and he's getting ready to bring the ball up. He brings the ball up to take a shot. He gets hacked. Well, I've got to call that. So I called that in the last 40 seconds, stoppage of the clock, and the coaches on the team that I called the foul against, they went livid, which is fine. So anyways, we go ahead and administer the free throws, and the offensive team makes one. So now, oh, by the way, the score was tied. So now the score is they're up 1. So the other team, he shoots the second one and misses. The offensive team gets the rebound and controls the ball. They win the game by 1 point. And so anyways, game's over with. It ended in overtime and ended by a 1 point score. And I go to the scorer's table. I'm just standing there because I'm scheduled for a second game afterwards, and it's going to start within 15 minutes or less. And so there's no place for me to go, so I've got to wait, and I hear my name yelled out. And the coach from the losing team comes over, says, "That is the worst call I've ever seen," or some such nonsense. And I said, "So you don't think he fouled?" And he goes, "No, yes, he fouled. He fouled. It just wasn't a shooting foul." So he's not arguing the fact that I called a foul. He's arguing the fact of whether or not he was in the process of shooting. Both my partner and I agreed he was in the act of shooting. Even we had another official handling clock. He was watching too. He agreed he was shooting. So they lost to that. Well, the coach is at this time, and here's the moral of this story, or the lesson to be learned by this story. He's somewhat calm, and I'm letting him have his piece. He's already kind of like, "Oh, I'm the worst," or at least that particular time, I'm the worst on that call. And then he calls over my partner, and he starts going off on my partner, talking about a game a week earlier that he did. And my partner's kind of defending himself, saying, whatever the call was, the kid committed the fouls. He ended up fouling out, and it is what it is. And the coach said, "Let me speak," and all this stuff. And I don't know. I'm sitting there. I'm the closest to the coach that's doing this. And the coach is turning red, and the tone of his voice is changing too. I mean, his whole neck really tensed up, but the color changed, and the vibe changed, and I could just tell this was getting ugly. Well, he's not dealing with me anymore, and I'm standing there, and I'm backing off too. I'm not engaging anymore because I realize this is getting bad. And the coach keeps going on, having a discussion with my partner. My partner's not taking it. He's not as receptive to this type of behavior as I am, or tolerant of this type of behavior. Maybe I shouldn't be either, but I generally deal and handle these situations, and I'm able to diffuse them. But you can tell this time, this coach was, the rage factor was getting ready to happen. Well, he ultimately walks off, turns back around and says something, and he actually threatens my partner. Something like, "I'm going to get you," or "You just wait and see." And and my partner went over there, went after him, and he, it didn't escalate from there, but it could have. Anyways, the whole lesson to be learned from this video is, no matter where you think you are in a relationship of some sort with these coaches and parents, be aware, because you're only as great as the last win that they have. Because when they lose, they can go postal, they can go ape, they can get crazy, violent, verbally abusive, and there's no tolerance for that. And you need to be careful. You need to be watching for your partner's back and your own back, because across the counter YouTube videos are all over the place with officials in their capacity getting hit, getting assaulted, getting battered. You just have to be careful, and you can't assume just because you have a good relationship with one of these coaches that that's a hold up. Because last night, if anything, proved it. This coach, now he didn't go as postal on me, but probably because I disengaged. I saw it coming, and I just didn't want it to get to that point. I didn't want to have a physical altercation. I didn't want things to get even more. And so I could read the signs. Apparently my partner couldn't. But anyways, neither one of us should have been put in that situation. The problem with doing double headers is we have no place to go most of the time. At the end of the game, if you're in a situation like this, like one of our old schedulers used to say, at the end of the game, grab your stuff. Don't say good game to anybody. Don't say anything to anybody. Grab your stuff, walk out with your partner, and get out of Dodge. Boom. But when you got double headers and you're stuck there, sometimes that you're not able to do that. So anyways, it was kind of not traumatic, but disappointing that we had a situation like that just escalated. I mean, it went from 0 to 60 in less than a minute and a half. And man, you just don't want to be in a situation that results in some type of battery or assault. And let me tell you what, you can be wearing this uniform. I don't care if it's baseball, football, basketball, whatever it is, and you can assume, and you could be in the right on the job, and you could think you're going to have the law behind you and still get hung up to dry. You can't assume that you don't have any protection. So it's best to avoid the conflicts. It's best to look out for yourself. It's best to disengage if you can, get away from the situation if you can, because the legal system, even if you think, or even if you are doing what you're supposed to do, you can get hung out to dry. Don't take the chance. Do not take the chance. You don't know who you're dealing with, and you don't know what's being filmed. You don't know. It's beware. Anyways, this is my first sporting type of video that I've posted in probably 8 months. We're getting ready to go into baseball season in about 4 weeks. I'll probably post a couple baseball videos. I'm a head umpire for SBMSA down here in Houston, Texas. Adult umpires I schedule and recruit, do a little bit of training on adult umpires, but this is for basketball right now. We're in the last few days of basketball, and it's heated because everybody wants to go to championship games on Saturday. By the way, today is like February 28th, yes, of 2023, and I hope if you're able to officiate. All these major cities need sports officials. Think about doing it. Don't be dissuaded by this. I'm just telling this whole thing is just to let you know that even if you're in great graces with your league, with your coaches, with your scheduler, things can turn on a dime. Be aware of that. Have a great day. This is Eric Sturm. If this video gave you any information that is useful, please like, subscribe, leave me a comment. God bless.